Hello viewers, it's CyborgTy. In this video, I will be answering a few questions that were posted in comments of my virtual reality gaming or Locomotion related videos. But before I do that, I want to apologize for not posting virtual reality gaming related videos in a while. But I had a good reason. I was experiencing vertigo every day, and if there's anyone out there that's wondering if VR gaming caused the vertigo that I was experiencing, the answer to that is no. Even before getting into virtual reality gaming, I would occasionally experience vertigo, but it was very manageable. However, recently it got to where it was not easily managed as sinus medicine did not help anymore. In any given week, I would game 2 to 3 days, and on those days, maybe up to 2 hours. But with increasing vertigo issues, I decided to put gaming on hold and to take time to research the issue. To make a long story short, I decided to start a keto-friendly or low-carb diet as well as intermittent fasting to help get healthier. The result is I lost over 15 pounds and I lost the vertigo issue. I'm sharing this experience in hopes that it might help somebody else out there. Anyway, now I'm back posting VR gaming related videos at least once every 2 weeks. Alright, let's answer the first question. The first question is from DXD Gaming, and he's asking, what's your settings for the speed mapping? Because I see no delay at all when you stop walking, when on my hand there is a small delay. They are commenting on what they observed in one of my Pavlov videos when I was playing the container yard map. My settings for mapping speed were 1.1, and that's how I have them still. I'm showing all the other settings I used as well in case they are of some help. Also, we can't ignore how our systems are configured. Mine's an i7-8700 with an RTX 2080 Ti, and there's some not so obvious configuration things like how did you configure your system for performance? Is your virtual memory caching on the same drive as the system or the boot drive? Mine isn't. We also can't ignore our stature and how we move. I'm 6'2" and I have long legs, so I'm just trying to say that many things could be contributing to different results with the settings. All right, the next question is from Charlie Lima, and it's regarding the diameter of the mat that you could purchase from the Kat VR store. And you'll see in the video here, I'm using a mat actually that came with my Cybershoes, but you'll notice in this image, I'm showing the Kat VR mat that you could purchase from their website. They do not tell you the diameter of it. If you go to the Kat VR store, you'll see what I'm showing here, and you'll notice the diameter is not provided. I went ahead and measured mine, and you'll find that it is actually 27 inches diameter. So I hope that helps Charlie Lima and others who are curious about that. All right, the next question was actually asked by multiple viewers. Absolute Horror Fun was curious about it when he was watching one of my Pavlov videos. The other was Duty, who was curious about it when he was watching my immersive walking in place VR Locomotion Solutions video. And the question is regarding being able to go backwards. The Kat Loco S provides a gesture, stepping back or lifting one of your legs while obviously still standing on the other, to actually gesture that you want to go backwards, and it'll send the character backwards. But these guys are asking about whether pushing back on the controller joystick would actually move you backwards while walking in place. And so you'll see in the video that I'm actually attempting that, and you'll find that as I push back on the joystick, you'll notice I start to go back, but as soon as I start to walk in place, it overrides the joystick and I start moving forward. If I change the order and I simply, while I'm walking forward, I push back on the joystick, it ignores that. Now what happens might be game dependent. So I obviously hadn't tried this on every game. More than likely, in most cases, you'll find the walking in place will end up overriding what you're doing with the joystick. The next question is from Fry Rice, and is asking, how does the Cybershoes compare to the Kat Loco S? There are subjective and objective elements to the response, so let's take the objective ones first. I've had both solutions for several months, and the obvious things are like the Kat Loco S requires a PC, whereas the Cybershoes you can use with the PC solution using Steam, or you can actually use it with your standalone Quest 2. If you've viewed videos that show a person using the Quest 2 with Kat Loco S, the Quest 2 is connected to the PC either by way of AirLink or virtual desktop. The Kat Loco S requires you to be standing and moving to send input to sensors at your ankles and at your waist, whereas the Cybershoes requires that you sit down and move to send input to sensors that are built into these devices that you strap to your feet. Setting up the Kat Loco S was pretty easy as well. You have a cable for charging the sensors. You also have a cable for the USB receiver. You have videos online that describe the setup and a PDF file that also has all the details. The software is split between a desktop application as well as the Steam VR overlay. The desktop application allows you to affect the configuration as well as look at the sensor's battery status. The Steam VR overlay allows you to calibrate, set the sensitivity settings, or even launch popular games with recommended settings. With Cybershoes, you also have a USB receiver, and this is true in PC mode or if you're using it with the Oculus Quest. When it comes to its software, there's just the Steam VR overlay, which allows you to affect things like crouch assist, whether it should simulate standing, and more. And with the Oculus Quest, you have to leverage whatever adjustments or configuration is provided with any games that support the Cybershoes. Both solutions works very well with games that provide free locomotion. Both solutions require the sensors to be charged. When I'm using Kat Loco S, I have to charge the sensors a lot more frequently than for the same amount of gameplay each week with my Cybershoes. With Cybershoes, I'll say the battery just lasts a long time. I've actually gone a couple of weeks of gameplay without recharging it. So I know I saw somebody online saying that theirs lasts about 9 hours, but mine lasts quite a bit more than that. I was one of the backers of the Kickstarter campaign. I don't know if these older ones just have better batteries, but I'm just sharing what I experienced. To navigate and move around with Kat Loco S, obviously you run or walk in place to go forward, but when it comes to going backwards or to your side or strafe, you have to use gestures. But of course with the Cybershoes, you're doing somewhat of a rolling, pushing kind of, but it feels almost like you're walking. You can even do a heel-toe action as you see I'm doing here in the video to go forward. And of course, it's intuitive when it comes to going backwards, you do it in reverse. And to go to your sides, you also are doing a kind of a side motion, since your hands or controllers and the way you're facing can be independent of each other. You are in essence like strafing the character. Right now there are sales for each of these solutions. $194 price for the Kat Loco S with carpet. It's actually $160 without the carpet. And then the Cybershoes is $349, and that package gets you support for Steam or for the Oculus Quest, and you get the carpet as well as the chair. If that should make the big difference, it might be more, do you want to play VR sitting or you want to play it standing? I will say that if you take time from either of the solutions and you come back to them, the Kat Loco S is easiest to get into without any effort. I say that because with the Cybershoes, if you're away from it for a little bit, sometimes you may have to find the right height of the chair to make it comfortable. So once you find the right height, you may find that it may take you a few days for your muscles to be conditioned to easily handle the leg motions while sitting in the chair for the length of your gameplay sessions. Sometimes standing and walking in place with Kat Loco S just feels right. But there are other times when the Cybershoes has an edge, since it allows you to intuitively go backwards and strafe, which is needed when playing competitive multiplayer shooting and other games. If you have other questions, don't hesitate to post them in the comments. If you enjoyed or learned something from this, give it a like, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.